Hey gamers, Gecko here. 2XGO closed beta has been out for just under a week now, and I've had a good amount of time to finally sit down and play the game. I've been able to play a couple of different teams with a couple of different people, and I have some thoughts on the game. So how about we go over them right now? We'll go over the good, we'll go over the bad, and then we'll have a big conclusion about how I feel about the 2XGO closed beta. If you don't want to watch this whole video though, and just want my initial thoughts, the game's pretty good. There's problems that I have that I'm still trying to diagnose in my brain on if they're an actual problem that I think is a fundamental flaw with the game, a personal preference thing that I just don't kind of like, or a skill issue. So I'm not going to go over a lot of them here. I'll briefly touch on a couple of them, but just know that overall I am having a good time with the game. There's still a lot for me to learn though. I've put in about, I want to say like 10 hours over the past week. I've been working a lot on the beginner guides that have been coming out. They took up way more time than I expected them to. I thought, oh, I could get them all done on day one. I couldn't. I absolutely could not. But they're all out now, and they're all done. I've been able to play the game actually for a little bit instead of just sitting in training mode and failing B&Bs. So how about we start on a positive note? Let's start with the good things that I like about the game. The movement in the game is really good. It's really nice. Obviously, as you may know, I come from anime games, or air dashers, so not being able to air dash on every single character does feel a little bit weird, but having a simplified version of Plink Dash that requires you to just wait a little bit between doing the dashes, instead of doing the old Marvel tech of dash down, dash down, dash down, does feel very nice. And you can still do the Marvel tech if you really want to. I think the thing I like about it the most, though, is that Plink dashing forward isn't necessarily the best way to get your character in. Some characters have ways where they're able to advance full screen really quickly, and some characters have faster runs than they do Plink dashes. Plink dashing back is generally the best way to get out, but the movement still feels really nice, and it feels like if you're not constantly wavering, you still feel pretty good. You still feel in control of your character. There's been very few times where I put my character in a position where I really don't want them, and most of the time that's on Yasuo when I accidentally step dash, so I'm not complaining too much. Speaking of characters, they all feel really well designed and really thought out. There's no character in this game where it feels like you see them and on the surface level that's just what they are. Every character has at least a little bit of depth to go into, even the easiest ones. I played a little bit of Darius, not a lot. I kind of just wanted to put him in a team to see how everything would adjust. And even then, he still feels like he has a lot to offer any team, even if his moveset is very simple. I love how the characters function as they are. You can look at the moveset of the character and be like, oh yeah, that's really easy. And then you go in and you find little nuances and little things that you didn't quite expect when going in, but it's a nice little surprise once you're there. Vi having like electric combos that you need to time at specific timings. Yasuo being able to stance cancel back into his calm stance out of basically any single one of the follow-ups, even the one where he goes through you. Jinx being able to enhance the little clappy drone with electric attacks, so it adds the electric effect when it hits the opponent. All of these little things are stuff that the game doesn't directly teach you, but when you find it out, you're like, holy shit, this is really cool. It lets you expand on the character yourself and find an ocean of depth beneath them. There's not a single character in the game who feels underloved or undercooked. Every single one of them feels like all of their moves are deliberate and thought out and interesting, and I really like that. The design team did an amazing job with the characters. And even though they are quite in-depth, a lot of them are still very much pick up and play. Since the game obviously has simple inputs, you generally know what directions you can press to get different moves, and just seeing it once generally lets you figure out how it kind of works. B&Bs for the characters aren't universal, but they're universal enough where you can generally do a basic, send them up, knock them down, do a super, and it still pretty much works on every character. If you want to play a character entirely for aesthetic reasons instead of gameplay reasons, you can just pick them up and start messing around with them. There's no real massive barrier to entry on any of the characters, even the ones who seem really complicated. Granted, some characters are more pick up and play than others, but you can still get by with just mashing buttons on quite a few characters. If you know how to mash buttons correctly, of course. I think my favorite bit of the game, though, is the team building. You would think with two characters, building a team doesn't have that much impact on your overall playstyle. Like, in terms of things like Marvel, you generally have shells where you put a character in to that team, and the whole team plays in one specific playstyle. That's a gross oversimplification of how shells work. Please don't get angry in the comment section below. But 2X has managed to find a way where just changing out one of the characters can drastically change how the entire team goes about. Putting Jinx in a team can generally lead to a more Zona-ish playstyle, because obviously she wants to stay away, but it actually can just put more setups on whatever character that you are already using. Echo and Jinx, on a fundamental level, seem to conflict with each other. Echo wants to go in, Jinx wants to stay out. But Jinx is able to adjust herself to become a setup character, putting little traps on the screen that allows Echo to then make nasty fucking rewinds that he probably wouldn't be able to otherwise. What each individual character brings to a team really changes the dynamic of the whole team. Characters that you would think would be kind of bad on point may end up being pretty good because they need to help the character in the back set something up. Or the character in the back just works better solo, so maybe throwing them out as a little bit of cannon fodder will help you out. The team that I settled on was Yasuo Vi, which, I'm not gonna lie, not my kind of team. If you've been on the channel for a while, you probably know I like simple characters. If a character has a basic toolkit that just goes in and hurts you and kills you, I'm probably all in on it. You'd think something like Darius Brom might be more my playstyle, because it's characters that run in, hit you, deal a bunch of damage, and Brom has a bunch of armor, so it makes it really easy to get in. But there's just something about the way that these characters interact with each other, which is cool, and I like it. It's really hard to describe how a team feels without playing them. Yasuo is an all-rounder technical character who's able to do everything if you're willing to put the patience in on him, and Vi's a boxer. She wants to get in and keep you locked down. Because of this, Yasuo is able to pester at long ranges, Vi's then able to get in because Yasuo is pestering, and once she's in, Yasuo is then able to mix the opponent up by doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Not to mention, both of them deal a shit ton of damage. It's a dynamic of a team that I didn't think was going to work at first, but the more and more I learnt about it, the more I enjoyed it. And even then, I want to experiment with other teams. Darius Brom does sound like a very funny team to play. Blitzcrank looks like one of the best assist characters in the entire game, so I want to make some kind of team with him. I know that Alawi Blitzcrank can be pretty fucking brutal, because I've been on the receiving end of it, but I want to experiment. I want to mess around with characters and see how they work. And a game hasn't really given me that feeling in a while, especially not a team game. A lot of team games, I find two characters I like, and then just have a middle character that I switch out a lot. I did this a lot in Dragon Ball FighterZ, like a lot in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And even then, back when I played BB Tag for a bit, I kind of just stuck to one team and didn't really experiment. 2XKO has so much nerdy stuff in it, though, that it makes you want to experiment and want to explore. So yeah, I enjoy it. Game funny, game nerd. A way that you can increase this dynamic and actually increase the fun is with the 2v2 mode. And I don't mean 2v2 as in you're playing two characters and your opponent's playing two characters. I mean 2 people on each team. Playing with a partner is really fun. Like, I didn't expect it to be that fun. I expected to kind of hate it, honestly. You lose quite a few of the tools that you would normally have. So if you're on point, you can't push block, and you can't burst, and you can't call the assist in, because all of that is being handled by your backup, by your partner. And even then, if you're in the backline, you don't get to choose when you get tagged in. That's all on the point character. You can do the assist, and they might not tag you in when you thought it was a good idea. But that slight friction adds so much to playing with another person. I've played a lot with Nevis. We played about like 3 hours together with 2 different teams. And that little bit of friction is really where the fun comes in, because we have different strategies on how we want to go about using our resources. There are times where I'm like, ah shit, I've been hit, and then a burst comes out of fucking nowhere. And I didn't expect it, and it's really funny. Obviously, communicating when you're going to do these things makes you into better players, and makes you into a better team. But it is still extremely funny just randomly going, okay, you're in now, and tagging your partner in without their consent. Very funny. Very, very, very funny. I don't necessarily think that playing in a duo is an inherent advantage, but I also don't think it's as big as a detriment as some people think it is. If you really want to lean into playing with another person, it's able to open up a couple of things to you. One, you're able to just focus on one character. And like I said before, characters have a lot of depth to them. There's a lot you can get away with just a single character. So learning a single character fully can be really nice. Then you can learn with your partner on how your characters work together to find even nastier sequences. But then you also have 2 sets of eyes and 2 sets of brains. It's a lot harder to get a read on 2 separate people than it is to get a read on one specific person. Like I said, I like to hold my burst, and Nevis doesn't. So, if Nevis is in the backline, they're gonna have to know that she likes to spend burst at the first opportunity. And if I'm in the backline, they're gonna have to know that I like to hold it. But even then, they're having to think about the 2 separate people and their different burst habits, which is a lot to think about. The way they've done 2-player teams is fucking genius, and I really love it. I genuinely think one day we're going to get to the point where there is a 2-person team that is wreaking havoc on a region, and it's going to be sick. It's going to be fucking awesome. I'm so looking forward to it. I don't think it's the best way to play. If you want competitive stability, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. But if you also just want to go full fighting spirit, Gurren Lagann style, check out the 2 mode. Like, it's really fun. It might be my favorite thing in the game, honestly. And thankfully, there's a good chance that you can actually play with someone. One of the biggest concerns I had about the game was that not a lot of people were going to get in. With Alpha Lab 1 being a couple of regions in Europe, the majority of North America, and then, like, nowhere else. And Alpha Lab 2 basically just being North America and Brazil. It was kind of annoying and pretty shit. There was a good chance that those people who were in Alpha Lab 1 and 2 were going to get in, and there was going to be a bunch of Americans and then nowhere else in the world because they couldn't get codes. However, it seems like a lot of people have actually been able to get in if they want to. I've yet to meet someone who's really into the FGC who hasn't been able to find a way to get into 2XKO. They've seemingly been giving out a bunch of different codes, and the ability to invite 3 separate people has absolutely been a boom. For context, I had about, like, 7 people on my list of I am giving them a code if I can. And I only ended up giving a code to 1 person, because everyone else got in or wasn't interested. So now I have to find casual friends who want to get in. Do you know how fucking annoying that is, trying to invite a casual into this game? Yeah, dude, Ari's in the game. Look, ooh, she got big tails. Ooh, no, don't look at the TODs. Ignore that. Now, that was a lot of yapping about the good stuff, a lot of yapping about the things that I liked, but there are downsides to the game. There are criticisms that I have that hopefully will be addressed in the future. Not all of these are massive game-breaking things, but there are a couple of ones that really grind my gears and annoy me. So let's get to them, shall we? To begin with, progression. It's really slow. Progression is super slow in this game. If you want to unlock a character that you don't have a champion token for, which is the thing that lets you unlock the character for basically free, you need 10,000 credits. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but credits are handed out very slowly. The majority of credits that you get are from your daily and weekly missions, and after playing for a good amount of time, I only have 8,000 credits at the end of a week. If I'd have played more, maybe I could have unlocked Jinx by now, but once you're done with your daily and weeklies, it takes a very long time to get credits. And the problem with that is, credits are used for literally everything. They're used to unlock champions, but they're also used to unlock different skin chromas. They're used to unlock titles. They're used to unlock banner plates. They're used to unlock cosmetics for your lobby avatar. If you want something in the beta right now, you have to spend tokens to get it. Which makes sense, but it also means that there's this annoying, nagging feeling in the back of my head that I know a little annoying rat is going to be coming out relatively soon, and I should probably have the tokens saved up for when he comes out, so I can't buy anything. I kind of just have to sit on my tokens and wait until the character comes out, and then I'll be able to spend them. I think a lot of people also feel this way because you go into an online lobby and everyone's wearing the default clothes. No one's spending any of their tokens on any kind of cosmetics to express themselves because it costs so much. The amount of credits that you have to spend in order to get basic cosmetics feels like it's not worth it. With the money that you could spend on basic cosmetics, it doesn't feel worth it when you know that you can unlock a character with it. Because of that, a lot of people aren't getting a lot of new things, and for a free-to-play game, that kind of feels like a problem. I understand that this is going to be addressed. Obviously, there's going to be some kind of battle pass coming out, probably when the game launches, whenever that is. My prediction, end of the year, like December time, the game's probably going to fully come out. But right now, if you want to spruce up your character in any way, it feels like it takes absolutely forever, and it feels like you are giving up something massive further down the line. This isn't necessarily that much of a problem now. What I am worried about, though, is 2 years, 3 years down the line, when a bunch more characters have been added, how the new player experience is going to be affected. I started League of Legends in, like, 2016, 2017. So I was like 7 or 8 years late to the party. So I had 7 to 8 years of champions to unlock if I wanted to play them. And it would take forever. It felt pretty bad, not just because I was playing League of Legends, but because it took forever to get anything that I actually wanted. And if a new character was coming out and I kind of liked them, I had to just save up for weeks on end so that I had the blue essence to be able to buy them. I don't really want that kind of situation for a new player coming into 2XKO, because free-to-play games like this live and die by new players coming in on hype. So if they come in and they see the character and it's going to be like, yeah, you can unlock them in 2 weeks, they're probably not going to want to play them. Obviously, you get champion tokens if you do the tutorial. Very nice way to do it. I do really like that system. Hopefully, they keep that system like that so that when we do have a bunch of characters, people can just unlock the ones they want. But it is still something that irks me and worries me about the future of the game. Still, though, we don't know the full progression model. We don't know how everything's going to work. So we'll just have to see what happens. Talking about lobby avatars, I don't necessarily know how I feel about the casual lobby pointing you towards a setup and you physically going and sitting down on it. I think ranked is just going to have a queue system, and there's not really going to be a lobby type system. I really hope there's not a lobby type system for ranked. Please, for the love of God, just have ranked have a queue system. Don't have it be a lobby type system. But it just feels a bit weird. I understand it as like a casual gimmick, so it's not really a complaint. It's just a little bit annoying of like, I go into the casual match, and then I have to move the avatar to a place. It is what it is. I also can't really talk about the matchmaking system, because obviously there's seemingly no MMR system going on. If there is, I haven't really noticed it. A lot of my games feel very fluctuating. Some games I play, and I'm absolutely dominating someone. Some games I play, and I'm getting dominated. And then there's a couple of matches where it's actually pretty even, and it feels pretty good. But I don't know if there's a system working in the background. It's casual, though, so I have no comments. Once rank comes out, we'll have comments on it, trust me. Alongside that, the game doesn't have cross-region play in casual. Now, I understand why this is a thing. Having 2 players on the same team connecting from both North America and Europe could lead to a pretty bad connection and pretty bad routing depending on who they fight, which may lead to a little bit of a laggy experience. However, from what I've seen and from what I've heard, the netcode of this game is really fucking good. Riot's managed to find a way to do rollback that's essentially one-sided. The server figures out what's happening in the game, and then you connect to that server. So any rollbacks or delays or whatever you have are mostly on your side. I've had a couple of issues, especially right at the start, where servers seem to start bugging out and lagging like crazy. But also people like Leffen have been playing in North American tournaments, and people haven't been making that much of a fuss about it. I don't necessarily know how the infrastructure works, but I really would like it if you could just play with people cross-region. It'd be really fun. I got a lot of friends in North America who like to dabble in fighting games, and being able to play on a team with them would be really nice. I'm pretty sure we can play in closed lobbies. I've not actually tested it yet, but still, cross-region play is really important for fighting games. So, get on it, please. And finally, my only real gameplay criticism I have... I'm not sure how I feel about the combo system. It feels kind of finicky at times. When you're doing your B&Bs and you have like a basic combo that you can do, it feels completely fine. But sometimes you look and you see people doing the same loop about 3 or 4 times, and then if you try to do a different loop, that loop doesn't work. Yasuo has a loop where he's able to hit you in the air and do his projectile. And he's able to do that about 3 times in the corner and still get a full combo off of it. It's really weird looking, especially considering the fact that some moves just don't let you do that. If you try to do 1 rep of a sequence sometimes, the combo will just drop halfway through it, which makes sense. They don't want you doing the same thing over and over and over again. But what does and doesn't drop can feel kind of arbitrary sometimes. I think this is more of a personal complaint. I'm very much used to the rigidity of modern Arxis combo systems, and coming from Marvel Tokon that has a completely different way of doing combo systems definitely didn't help me with this. But it can feel a little bit annoying when you're trying to lab your own combos and figure out what you can do. If I want to make a sequence on the fly, sometimes it can be pretty hard. Still though, I don't think this is a major criticism. I think this is something that I'll either get over with the more time that I play, or I'll have enough friction with it where maybe I'll just bounce off the game. We'll see though. So, that's the bad. How do we feel about the game overall? Well, the game itself is good. The game's pretty fun. I'm not really sure if in the long term, the game is necessarily gonna be my kind of thing. I'm gonna need to play it a little bit more to really get into the nitty-gritty of it, really find the meat of the system. Maybe I'll play in a couple of tournaments to see how it feels competitively. Maybe I'll see what they do more on the casual side to see what's going on. Maybe I'll check the content on this channel, on the main channel, to see what's going on. Like and subscribe if you want more 2x content. That's genuinely going to be a reason for me to stick around, not even a bit. I don't know. I think the game is fun. I'm having a pretty decent time with it. Playing with 2 players is a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be a massive selling point for a lot of people. Hopefully when rank comes out in a couple of days, and hopefully when there's more progression tracks and more things to do and unlock, I'll have a different view of the game and see how I feel about it. I am worried that there's a chance that this game will become that kind of game where you just play it because you're mindlessly chasing a goal and you don't enjoy it anymore, but we'll see what happens after a while. Don't really have any major comments on the gameplay. The game's fun. The game's cool. There's a lot of interesting things you can do in it on both offense and defense. I will throw my hat into the ring, though, and say this game is absolutely first to 2. This game is not first to 3. Anyone advocating for first to 3 all the way in the tournament in this game, insanity. No, this game is first to 2. Just because Yasuo can TOD you for doing something stupid doesn't mean that this game is first to 3. And, Riot, if you're watching this, add Set. How's he not in the fucking game yet? Like, he's literally a grappler. They designed him to be a grappler in the top lane. How is he not a grappler? How is he not in the game? I don't get it. Thank you all for watching. I'm live right now. We're playing Insult EU, playing some Guilty Gear Strive. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. I haven't played Strive in like a week and a bit because I've been too busy playing other games. So hopefully I'm not too rusty when we get back. I have to edit this down, like now. So I might end up being a little bit rusty. But we'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye!